back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and this is my round 13 NRL tips of 2023. So this is a Origin affected round, and obviously a lot of players are out for, I guess, the teams that are playing this week, but some clubs have the bye. So yeah, you're lucky if you do start with a bye during Origin period, so definitely take the most of that. But yeah, look, the games this week should be good, I'm hoping anyway. Definitely some clubs are playing Origin affected with some players out, but you know, there's some talent that I'm looking forward to, because as I'm looking at and skimming through both, or look at all the teams, there's a few debutants. So, you know, I guess while it's tough to have your best players out because of Origin, it brings up the opportunity and arises the chance of having like another rookie come up and play some footy. So it's a great opportunity for that player to come and play. So yeah, that's the case for some teams, and looking forward to seeing how this round goes. But before I do start, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are new watching right now, and comment your tips in the comment section down below. I'd like to point out that I am aiming to get to 3,500 subscribers. That's the aim on the channel, so hopefully that's somewhere I can get to, hopefully by the end of the month or even early June, you know, 3,500. So yeah, please do subscribe if you are enjoying the content. But without further ado, time to get into my round 13 tips, so please enjoy. And first game is Dragons and the Finns. Right, so on to the first game. It is the Dolphins and the Dragons at KO Stadium at Redcliffe. So it's about time the Dolphins actually took a home game to Redcliffe again, because it's always been at Suncorp where they're taking their home games. So I think it's about time the Dolphins actually went to their real home and played some actual footy there. So I know Suncorp was obviously a good ground for them to expose themselves a bit more as a club, but I think Redcliffe's their home. So you've got to try and find where, I guess, their identity really is, and that's in Brisbane, but more in Redcliffe. So that's where I think they should be playing a bit more games. But yeah, Dolphins, Dragons, some players are out because of Origin, some are playing, but yeah, you can see by the teams that there's a few clubs or a few players, and or for both sides especially, they're a bit affected by Origin. But going for the Dolphins team first, Mark Nichols returns from a thumb injury, and he'll start. He'll be back in the side. Tom Gilbert, Origin, and Felice Kafusi suspended are both out. So Ray Stone and Herman Siesi moved into the starting side, and Nichols joins the bench, And Mason Tigg and Valence Tivare joined the team as well, with Hamaso Tabuai-Fido on Origin duty. So Cody Nikarima goes to 5'8", fullback, and Anthony Milford to 5'8". My bad. And for the Dragons, Jack Bird is back after missing last week with a knee soreness, but he starts in the second row with Jaden Sewer, who's also, you know, also starting again, but has a minor hamstring issue. Ben Merck-Masilo retains his starting role. Jaden Sullivan gets the halfback job made vacant by Ben Hunt because of the Queensland selection. And Michael Molo comes in for Blake Laurie and will start at front row, and with his brother Francis, and Mozemba returns to the bench. My tip for this game, closer than expected, I reckon. I think this game will be a good one, hopefully, and I think both sides will give it their all. But I will tip the Dolphins. I think being at Redcliffe is going to be an advantage for them. I know the Dragons probably look a bit more stronger on paper because they're not as affected as what the Dolphins are, but seriously, if Dragons have any hope as a club, it's just on the back of Ben Hunt. So if he's out, then where's the heart and the passion? Like, where does that all go after he's gone, you know? So I just think the Dolphins will be up for it, and the Finns have been more impressive this year. So I will back them in here to win 1 to 12, and I will back Tessie New for my fantasy, hopefully to score a try. Now on the Friday it is the Eels taking on the Cowboys at Combank Stadium, home ground of the Eels, obviously. And this is a game that I'll be attending with a few mates, and obviously content creators that we all know fairly well, like Nick from Australia, CJ Moxley, and also Luther King. So going to be a great weekend with them, and looking forward to being at the game between Eels and the Cowboys. Going through both sides, for the Eels, Jonathan Hangawi has signed effective immediately with the Eels today, so he'll start at front row. That means yeah, he'll start front row with Junior Paolo being on absence because of New South Wales Blues. Ryan Madison calf and Andrew Davey head knock are both out. So Matt Dury returns for the Eels in his first game since round 9, and he'll start. And Luca Moretti will make his NRL debut from the bench, and yeah, that's cool. So I'll be making a debut video on him as well. So keen to see how Luca Moretti goes. And for the Cowboys, Val Holmes, Murray Talangi, Ruben Cotter, and Tom Din are all on Origin duty. So the Cowboys have called up 2 debutants in the centres, Zach Labour and winger Robert Derby. Ben Hampton is a new 5'8". Jake Granville starts at lock. Jason Tamalolo is listed among the reserves and could be a late inclusion as he looks to return from a knee injury. Griffin named Throat returns ahead of schedule on the bench, and Jermaine Tanoa Brown, who missed round 12, is out because of a head knock. My tip for this game, Tanoa Brown's actually in, so they misspelled something there. But I am going to tip the Eels here. I want the Cowboys to win, and I really do think they're a chance, but if I'm being honest for a minute, I just got to think, the Eels have got Dylan Brown there, Mitchell Moses, and they've still got pretty much their best 1 to 7 back line, so that's hard to deny. If Cowboys had most of their players playing this game, like Holmes and Talangi and stuff, I'd definitely back them, and I'd definitely tip them, but yeah, look, I do want Cowboys to win because I'll be there and I'll be cheering them on, obviously, over Para. But yeah, look, if I'm being honest, I think Eels look stronger. But in saying that, wouldn't mind seeing the upset and Cowboys winning, but we'll see what happens. But Eels 1 to 12, and I'll go Dylan Brown for a first try. Okay, on to Saturday footy now, and it's the first game of only 2. And this is the Warriors and the Broncos taking on each other at McLean Park. So McLean Park is a place in a little New Zealand, I guess, town called Napier. Hopefully I said that right, because if I didn't, I'm really sorry. But it's either Napier or Napier. But yeah, it's good to see the Warriors are taking that initiative of taking other games to other parts of New Zealand. So it's a nice sort of initiative that they put together, and hopefully it all works out, well, that the whole move there and playing a footy game there. But yeah, Warriors obviously, as of recent, haven't been too bad. The win against the Bulldogs was important before they had the bye last week. And as for the Broncos, the Broncos haven't been that bad either. I guess a couple of losses recently, but they are playing good footy. So on to my thoughts on both sides and going through them right now. For the Warriors, Luke Metcalf making his club debut after being named at 5'8", ahead of Ronald Volkman, who is listed as 18th man after injuring his hamstring in February. Metcalf had made a try-scoring return in his return to New South Wales Cup earlier this month. Jackson Ford is back to start in the second row after missing round 11 with a head knock, and Wade Egan is out and replaced by Freddie Larsick. And as for the Broncos, Tristan Saylor and Dean Mariner joined the backline with Reece Walsh and Selwyn Cobbo on Origin duty. So Kim Palacia and Corey Jensen are the new starting props in place of Payne Haas and Tom Flegler. Kobe Hetherington moves into the starting side for Pat Carrigan. The new faces on the bench are Xavier Willison and Brendan Piakura. With so many of his stars on Origin duty, Kevin Walters will be hoping skipper Adam Reynolds is fit to take place this weekend. Okay, well, my tip for this game is the Warriors. I'm going back to the Warriors here. I think the Wars taking a game to a place like Napier or Napier is a good initiative, like I said before. But I think they'll also get up for the local fans there, and I think they will put in a good performance in a place like there. So I think they'll win, with Broncos being a bit depleted because of Origin. So Warriors by, let's say, 1 to 12, and I'll go Rocco Berry for a try. Why not? And on to the last game of Super Saturday. It is the Rabbitohs taking on the Raiders at Accor Stadium, so 7:35 p.m. game. This should be an interesting one because I think South, with a few players out, tend to, I guess, maybe struggle during Origin period often because they have a few players playing in that arena. But as for Canberra, they've only missing on one player, of Hudson Young being selected for the Blues this year. So Very interesting to see what team does turn up on the night, but I have no doubt that this will be a great game. So going through both sides for the Rabbitohs, Campbell Graham has been named to play despite withdrawing from the Blues squad due to a sternum injury on Monday, so he'll be assessed obviously. But Richard Kenner listed as 18th man. There could be a late change. Keon Kalamatangi is a chance of returning from a leg injury after being included in the reserves, while Liam Knight is the man to replace Cameron Murray at lock. Blake Taft comes in at fullback for Latrell Mitchell. The new faces on the bench are Shaquai Mitchell and Tallis Duncan on debut, so we'll be making a debut review on him. And for the Raiders, they are without Hudson Young, obviously, because of Origin. Elliot Whitehead's suspension, and Corey Harawira-Naera comes into the second row. Joe Taffney moves to lock. Sammy Sulo will play prop. Zach Wolford returns from a head knock, and at hooker pushes Danny Levi to the reserves, and Nick Cottrey makes a return from a hamstring injury via the bench. And yeah, that's the teams for both sides. My tip for this game, I will be tipping. Yeah, look, despite Souths having some players out, I think they'll still win, and I'll back them to win on Saturday night. I just think that their form at the moment is a bit too good to deny. And I think losing to the Parramatta Eels last week would have, really hurt them. And I think that's hit the Wasps' nest, and they'll come out firing. So I'll tip Rabbitohs 1-12, and I'll back Isaiah Tass for first try. And on to the last game of round 13, it is Manly taking on the Knights, my boys, up against Newcastle in Newcastle at McDonald Jones Stadium. I was planning to go to this game, but on a Sunday in Newcastle with things to do the next day on a Monday, no, not possible, sadly, but definitely will go up one day. But Knights and Manly. Knights obviously had a disappointing loss to the Sharks at Coffs Harbour, and they'll be eager to bounce back. And, I think with Ponga and Gagai missing out on Origin selection, I guess you can say that Daniel Saifidi as well. Those players will be firing and ready to go against Manly, I reckon. So we've got to be wary of that. And it's in Newcastle, which is an advantage. And for Manly, that win against Canberra was huge, and we needed a victory like that. So I'm very happy we got that win, and hopefully that's confidence going forward. But we are missing a few of our top players, which is a concern. But going through both sides, for the Knights, Callum Ponga, stint from 5'8", has moved this time back to fullback, and Lachlan Miller goes to the bench in jersey 14. Tyson Gamble will partner Jackson Hastings in the halves. Adam Elliott moves into the starting lock position, while Jack John starts in the second row in place of Tyson Frizzell, who's on Origin duty. And for Manly, midweek signing Jake Arthur comes into the 22-man squad, but it's Cooper Johns who will replace Daly Cherry Evans at halfback. Kyle Weeks starts at fullback in the absence of Tom Trbojevic. Taufafala Sipley joins the 17 and starts at prop, which I like. Jake Trbojevic calf is out, unfortunately, so Kepi will go to lock. Samuela Fainu will move from the bench to starting back row. And Christian Tuipulotu will join the bench and play the jersey 14 role in his first game since round 9. So maybe there's a late change happening there, because I don't see Tuipulotu staying in that jersey 14 role for much longer than, I guess, the day before the game starts. I think there'll be a change there, I reckon. But my tip for this game, look, I'm very worried about this game because we have Daly Cherry Evans, Tom Trbojevic, and Jake Trbojevic. But honestly, I'll back the boys. I'll back Manly to win here. Got to back my team. But it's a game that I wouldn't be shocked if we lost, though, because of the players we have out. But I think with enough talent there, like Schuster, Kohler, Garrick, and Saab, and Croker, Paseka, all the players that stood out from last week, even Olakau'atu, I think they'll all be ready to go. And Olakau'atu will be fired up after missing Origin selection by Freddie Fittler. But I'll tip Manly 1-12, and I'll also go with first try scorer. I'll back Brad Parker for first try scorer for Manly. But they're my tips. So going through who I've tipped for the weekend, I've got in Dolphins Dragons, got the Dolphins. Eels Cowboys, got the Eels. Warriors Broncos, got the Warriors. Rabbitohs Raiders, got the Rabbitohs. And Manly Knights, got Manly. But that's my tips for round 13 of the NRL. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment your tips in the comment section down below.